The social media race soldiers celebrating the Montgomery melee should read General Smedley Butler's book, War is a Racket. Published in 1935, the book spells out the fraudulence of war. A decorated hero, Butler explained the financial rewards of manufactured mass conflict for business elites. Smedley wrote, quote, "Only a small inside group knows what war is about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes." In modern America, the corporate elite and their tech partners are working to promote a race war, a conflict among working class Americans of all colors. Reaction to the Montgomery Riverboat melee feels like a reenactment of the Battle of Fort Sumter, an 1861 skirmish led by a South Carolina militia group that precursored the Civil War. The quick surrender of the United States Army at Fort Sumter emboldened the Confederates, helping them believe the North did not have the stomach for war. In Montgomery on Saturday, two white drunken idiots attacked a black security guard who seemingly unfastened their pontoon boat from the dock. At one point, the black security guard was surrounded by a half dozen white people. Half of them appeared to be trying to stop the fight. The other half appeared to be assaulting the security guard. Eventually, a swarm of black onlookers rescued the security guard and then proceeded to escalate the conflict. The videos of the skirmish are spread across all of social media. The social media collective, referred to as Black Twitter, is celebrating the one-sided skirmish as a sign of black unity and strength. The truth is, reaction to the brawl is a sign of America's dysfunction, unwillingness to learn from history, and inability to properly identify its true enemy. Race war is a racket, a scheme that benefits a handful of elites and the puppets they pay to foment racial conflict. The combatants in Montgomery are natural allies. They're pawns in a plot to distract the masses from recognizing, addressing, and undermining the elites exploiting their ignorance. The initial conflict in Montgomery is not rare. Fights between patrons and security guards are commonplace. Men struggle bowing to authority, especially in environments rife with alcohol. Normally, these conflicts do not make national news or trend over social media. The Montgomery incident would not be interesting if the security guard and his initial attackers were of the same race. It would just be men behaving badly, another piece of content for world star hip hop. I'll give you an example. A week ago, 10 men in Los Angeles bludgeoned a security guard to death. No one tried to rescue the security guard. Onlookers fled. Take a listen to this, I think, KTLA news report.
Pedro and Lauren, they say what was crucial here was speaking to the eyewitnesses from the club, but they say that a lot of people, when they saw that fight escalate, saw the violence happen, that a lot of people fled, left the area, went home, and they say if anyone saw something, knows something about this incident, to contact them immediately. Reporting live, I'll send it back to you both in the studios.
That's why we say if you see something, say something. Thank you, Annie Rose.
So I said this yesterday, and I'm sure some people were upset because some of our regular viewers, I was in the chat last night, I was reading the comments yesterday and today. Some of you are caught up in this race war and you've picked sides based on race and you can't see the bigger picture and you're upset about my point of view and perspective on this. I am not remotely backing down. What I said yesterday is true. If the combatants in Montgomery had all been of the same color, particularly black, everybody would flee. And no one would have any information for the cops. I just showed you what happened a week ago. Black security guard bludgeoned by black men. Everybody fled. No one saw anything. No one's helping the cops. This goes on all the time. What made Montgomery interesting is that the security guard was black and his initial attackers were white. Social media, particularly Twitter, has programmed many Americans to interpret the world through racial lenses. That's being woke. All interaction between men and women of different races is potentially racist, especially if any of the engagement is negative toward the black person. The white men are not just drunken idiots, they're racist drunken idiots. There's thousands of years of history showing that men are drunken idiots regardless of race. But that doesn't matter. At the behest of the elites who control corporate and social media, all engagement between different races must be interpreted through a racial prism. Why? Who benefits? The elites, the global millionaires and billionaires, and the influencers they control. They want the black security guard to believe that the white landscaper is their mortal enemy, the man behind a plot to deny black progress. The elites want the white landscaper to believe the black security guard is the man living off government giveaways and driving higher taxes. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are the enemy of the average working man, regardless of color. Pelosi and McConnell take their orders from George Soros, the Rothschild family, Klaus Schwab, and Bill Gates. Barack and Michelle Obama, Al Sharpton, Anderson Cooper, Rachel Maddow, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are bought and paid for influencers hired to convince the working class that the political, celebrity, and financial elite are working to improve the life of the working man. It's laughable. Joe Biden wants you to believe the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers are the biggest threat to national security. Our politicians sell obvious lies because we believe obvious lies. Just remember, an Arab man in a cave 5,000 miles away brought down the World Trade Center towers and Building 7. So of course, white men and rural militias are undermining the safety and progress of black men in Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. It all makes sense, don't you see? Race war is a racket. It might be the greatest racket ever invented. It blinds people to obvious truth. It's turned allies into enemies. Black people think a group of angry working class white people confronting corrupt politicians at the Capitol was a racist insurrection. We think beating up a tiny group of white drunk idiots on a pier is a sign of progress and unity. Anyone celebrating the Montgomery Melee is under MK Ultra control. Big tech social media apps have disconnected them from reality and common sense. They're mindless race soldiers willing to sacrifice their freedom and agency in a race war that will in no way benefit them. They're cowards and sellouts, unwilling to confront our real enemies. Our idols are our enemies, and our enemies are our allies.